What is going on, Patriot Gardeners? It is your old buddy Murdock. And today, we're back for another fun-filled adventure in the garden. And we are going to be talking about strawberries. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you today in our video how to take a store-bought strawberry, turn it into this, harvest your seeds, and turn it into loads of free strawberry plants just like this. So without further ado, let's get started. So because we're growing strawberries, you're obviously going to need one thing. You're going to need a strawberry. And my suggestion to you in this video is going to be go to your local organic produce store and actually get a couple of their strawberry varieties that they have and try them out. Actually do a taste test. If you bite into a strawberry and it is just like, oh my Lord, this is incredible, don't take another bite of it. Set it down. Resist the urge, Patriot Gardener, and don't munch it up, because that berry is trying to tell you something while you're trying to eat it. So what you want to do when you find that is you're going to get you a nice sharp paring knife, just like we see here, and you're going to actually skin that strawberry. That's right. You're going to take the knife, just set your strawberry down on a small cutting board, and go ahead and just peel them back. Peel the skin back, and you end up with a little sliver, kind of like this right here. And you just spread them out on a couple of paper towels stacked up. And what you're going to do is take this and go put it outside in the sun. If you don't have sun, put it in a nice, warm, dry spot. If you start to get any kind of fungus issues or anything popping up, go ahead and just hit it with a little bit of ground cinnamon and sprinkle a little bit of that bad stuff on there, and that will take care of that. So after they've dried for about 2 or 3 days out in the sunshine, you're going to go ahead and take them, bring them in the house, and you're going to take this paper towel and fold it together just like this over a paper plate, and you're going to rub them together very carefully, and you are going to get piles and piles of seeds that look something like that right there. Okay, so once we've gotten to this stage, what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of our red solo cup starters here, and if you haven't seen how I make these or exactly why I do a double red solo cup system, you'll be very interested. I'll put that link down in the bottom of the video for how I fill these and exactly why, and why it's beneficial to use a 2-cup system. Just a quick rundown. It actually gives you a better drainage system while protecting the underside and giving you a more even drainage, so that your plants don't just excessively dry out. You set them down on something, they've got holes in the bottom of a pot, it's touching a piece of cloth, it's open to the air. It's going to suck the moisture out of the bottom of that pot and try to acclimate to the atmosphere around it. And that's really where you want some moisture holding. So by doing a double cup system, I'm able to control the overall fluid basic uptake and absorption in my little soil cups here to help prevent rotting off or any kind of fungus growth and stuff like that. And the cinnamon is going to be your best friend on your seedling starts. This stuff has so many amazing properties, I don't even know where to begin. But just a small sprinkle of this, like you'll see in just a moment, on your soil tops will prevent any kind of fungus growth or anything like that. And it actually, based on what I'm seeing and using it, I have never gotten broccoli. This is some broccoli starts that we did about 2 weeks ago. I have never gotten broccoli to grow this fast. Their root system, I looked, is already starting to pop out the bottom of these cups. So they're going to be going out in the garden today. And even peppers. I mean, these are 4 weeks old, but still, for pepper starts, that is really, really, really good. You can see they got nice broad leaves, real good green. Even the onions, the red onions we got going here, those things are doing amazing. So let's get back to our strawberries. We're going to go ahead, and we've got our cups filled up to about 1 inch from the top. And we're going to get our little seeds here. And it really doesn't take very many. One little pinch of strawberry seeds is actually, quite enough. If you can get them out of the bag with one hand while you're filming a garden video. All right, we got us some. So, what we're going to do is we're going to just come to our cup like this. We're going to take this and we're just going to sprinkle some of these little seeds all over the place. And don't worry about how they're sitting. If you can see them, that's perfectly fine. With the step we're going to do next, you'll understand why that's going to be okay. I'll go ahead and get some more seeds here. And we're going to sprinkle some of these guys in here. Some of these guys in here. And I'm going to go ahead and guess. I'm probably dropping maybe 15, 20 little strawberry seeds in each of the cups. I'll probably go around and sprinkle just a couple more just to be sure. But I actually had a pretty good germination rate on these guys. It was pretty impressive. So some of these are actually later today are going to be going into the next portion of this strawberry growing videos series. And they're going to be getting their own red solo cups. So let's go ahead and get some of these sprinkled in here. Maybe a couple more. Maybe you want a couple more. Nah, we want a lot of strawberries. And, if you don't have red solo cups, I'm going to go ahead and just throw this out there. I'm going to be doing another plant here because I want a lot of strawberry starts to get going. I've got a lot of neighbors and stuff like that that are really going to need some come this spring. So I need to actually, en masse, start producing these things by the hundreds. So what we're going to do is you can actually use the container that the strawberries came in. It's got a real nice lid. Just fill it up with your potting soil. Do the same thing we've just done here. And sprinkle some cinnamon on it and just close the lid and you're good to go. You can also use a bigger, to-go dinner box that's got a lid on it. Drill some holes in the bottom tray, and you're good to go. There's no reason why you need to go out and buy some really expensive potting system or anything like that. It's totally unnecessary. So what we got here is we've got our nice soil. We've got our strawberry seeds that are all sprinkled all over the place here. Looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to do the next little step. And we're going to take us a shish kebab stick. And very gently, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of scratch the top of the surface. I'm not really digging. I'm just kind of moving the soil around just a little bit, just to knock the seeds down. And like I said, if they're on the surface, it's totally okay. They're going to be in a really high humidity environment, so they will germinate just fine. And let's go ahead and give this guy a little bit of love. And all I'm really doing actually is just making little tiny crevices and little pockets, because as old Alabama gardener used to tell us, God rest his soul, we're going to need to water this and watch it grow. So I want these little tiny seeds to stay right there and fall in the little cracks and crevices that we're creating, just like you'd find like on the bottom of a forest floor. If the seeds were to fall off the strawberry naturally and hit the floor, they'd want to fall between a couple little tiny twigs or maybe a couple little blades of grass somewhere. And there is where they will grow. So now that we take a look, you can still see some of them. Not a big deal. That's the way that nature would do it. So we're going to come up here, get our nice handy dandy watering bottle with a bunch of little holes poked in it with a pin needle, and we're going to go around and just give it one little squirt, just enough to get the top of that soil real nice and wet and get those seeds moist. And then the final stage of our operation, ladies and gentlemen. I was using saran wrap, and you can. You're going to want to cover these guys so that they can get a pretty high humidity environment. I am going to advise that before you cover them up, that you take your ground cinnamon at this stage and do like this right here. And just give them a nice little sprinkle, just like we see. And that's going to prevent any kind of fungus growth in that high humidity environment that we're going to be creating. Then we're going to take a quart sandwich bag, Ziploc, because I want it to be easy this time. And we're basically just going to go right over the top of the plant and pull it down just like that. And that allows it right there to go in underneath the grow lights and to get started. And germination for strawberries, I will let you know, is kind of iffy with their timing. It can take up to 35 to 45 days for some strawberries to actually germinate a seed. Most of these guys started popping up after about 5 to 7 days. We had a bunch of showing up after about 10 days. But I'm going to zoom in here. Let me find one. There we go. But even at 3 weeks later, I want you to take a look right there and right there. There are still strawberries germinating, even though these cups have been under the lights, uncovered now for a week and a half, 2 weeks. And you can see we've got a little cinnamon on there to prevent that bacteria growth. One of the biggest issues that people have with strawberries is moisture. Excess moisture will cause mold and will cause bacteria and fungus growth. That is the number one thing that is going to destroy your strawberries. The same thing that causes dampening off in your tomato plants and your brachios plants, you know, like your broccolis, your Brussels sprouts, all those good things, your basils, your any of this stuff that, you know, where you get the little fungus growth and it just, you come out and your plant's laid over and it just basically rots right where it meets the soil. This stuff here will do a great job on your starts to prevent that and to help give your seedlings a good start. But you need to give these guys some time. You know, give them 2 or 3 weeks, you know, to really get going. You're going to want these guys to grow. They're very slow growing. I bet you these little tiny guys that are right here, they got their first 2 leaves. I bet you they're about a week old already, if that gives you any indication. These little guys, like I said, are about 3 weeks old. They got their true leaves. And they're going to stay in these cups for another 2 or 3 weeks under the high intensity UV lights so they can get nice and big. And then we'll do a video on separating them and putting them in their own little red solo cups. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has helped. And this is actually going to be a pretty tasty adventure. Any of you guys that do this at home and actually get your little seedlings to start up and get your strawberries growing, we're going to be doing a continuation throughout the year on YouTube and over on our Telegram channel, and really, really getting into some of the berry production and into the permaculture methods and stuff like that for building our soils, for getting these areas ready to accept these plants where you don't have to keep adding all these fertilizers and all this different stuff, where the soil will continuously regenerate itself and where we can have a higher success rate with our seedlings as we go along. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming along on this little adventure. I look forward to seeing the pictures, the comments down below. And I really look forward to seeing you guys posting up lots of pictures of some little baby strawberries this year. So without further ado, love you all very much. God bless, and Murdock out.